What is up, Nuggets? It's your boy, Killer Pizza, here with a brand new video for you rascals and rapscallions out there. As always, I hope everybody's having a great weekend, watching some spooky movies and whatnot. I actually just got back from downtown Detroit. I was at the Totally Rad Vintage Fest. It was a convention for all 80s, 90s, year 2000-ish vintage stuff, which was really cool. I actually just got done recording my haul video of everything I picked up, which I'm going to put out tomorrow at noon. And I thought, well, I got the camera rolling, I might as well make a video that I've been wanting to do since this past Monday when I made it happen. So pretty much I was supposed to go to Static Tape Video this past Saturday, but things fell through and I didn't end up going. So I had requested the following Monday off of work with my flex PTO, just thinking I would have an extra day to have a 3-day weekend. And when I didn't end up going to Static Tape Video for Michigan is Dead Fest, I thought, I'm going to do something fun, something for myself that, I don't want to just sit at home for 3 days. So I ended up going to the movie theaters on Monday and doing a triple header. As you can see, my tickets are right here, my stubs. So this was a pretty interesting day. I timed everything out, tried to time it out perfect, and for the most part, it went pretty well. So for the most part, I was there from 10:30 in the morning to 6 p.m. at night watching movies. And truth be told, this is the first time I've ever done a triple header at a movie theater. It's something I've always wanted to do. I grew up right down the road, like a block or two away from a movie theater. But, the thing is, when you're a kid, you don't have enough money to go see a bunch of movies like that. So maybe the most I ever seen was like 2 movies. Go see one and sneak into another one. But anyways, the first one I went to go see with my mom and my grandma, which was a lot of fun. We went to go see the epic Elvis movie, which was pretty much a documentary / concert, unseen footage movie of Elvis Presley. In case some of you guys might not know, I am a very big fan of Elvis Presley. I think he rules. And this was a lot of fun. And honestly, like, my only gripe with this film was the setting in general. It's like, there was a lot of like older women in this movie theater, and I got really pissed off from the start. I get it's a movie, like kind of a concert theme, but these entitled women just talking through the entire movie, like that's a cardinal sin when it comes to movies. Just shut your mouth and everything, but it was pretty fun to see this unseen footage. And for the most part, besides certain moments when the women wouldn't stop talking, like, it was cool when like the music was blasting, but these women would be whispering and talking and cackling, like when they're doing like talking segments and everything. But I had a lot of fun with it because the way they kind of like did this, for one, to see Elvis Presley in the theater with that type of sound system and that picture quality was really cool. And I thought, where are they going to go from this? It can't be an hour and a half of concert. So it kind of was more of like a dissection of like him as a performer, because it didn't give much background as him growing up. It just kind of started explaining him starring in talent shows and singing in the neighborhood, and a little brief part about him going into the army and coming back. And it talked a lot about the films he did and how he enjoyed being on the stage so much, which, a couple things I never knew about Elvis was like, how many shows he performed. Like, he would do 3 shows a day sometimes. And the fact that he never performed out of North America was kind of crazy to me. But it was cool, like the way they would edit it. Like, they'd have some behind the scenes stuff, and it would be a lot of these interview clips, and the clips would be like playing over the concert footage and kind of segue into certain songs, and they'd have multiple different performances all kind of intertwined with the same live audio of the song, whichever performance it may have been. But it was just pretty cool experience in general. A movie like that can feel a little bit long when it's the first one out of 3 and it's just pure music for the most part. But something I noticed from Elvis Presley was that he was a lot funnier than I thought he was. And he was pretty dang cool and a pretty good friend to everybody. And I thought this was really well put together. I think it's well worth it for anybody that's a fan of Elvis Presley music to go check this out. He had a lot of quotes about entertainment and performing that really made a lot of sense. Like, me as a pro wrestler, I remember him saying, like, you can't shut it off for hours after. You can't shut it off, and it's so true. But anyways, once that movie ended, directly after, luckily the theater for my second movie was directly next to it, so I didn't have to go far to get there. But after all the previews, it kind of ended late, but I knew I had more previews in the next movie to buy some time. So went, hit the bathroom, did a refill. I was like Forrest Gump this day, guys. I'm not a big soda drinker, pop drinker, but I drank so much Dr. Pepper, man. and I love the movie theater popcorn, but I seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 2, The Secret of the Ooze 35th anniversary, and that was a fucking trip. By far the best movie I've seen that day. I loved it. It was so much fun. There was only one other guy in the theater, and I remember just getting the shit-eating grin on my face when the movie started. That opening scene when the guys, the Foot Clan, are robbing that downstairs spot, and the Turtles have to fight them off. You know, next time I'll use mustard. Obviously, I think Ninja Turtles Part 1 is the better movie, but I always had a lot more fun with Secret of the Ooze as a kid. It's kind of like Rocky 4 compared to the rest of the Rocky movies. Like, you know, it's not better than the original or some others, but it's like the MTV version. It's the one that's the most fun. And they just don't make them like that anymore. The costumes, how quotable this movie is, you know, how to let you talk me into this. Give it a chance. Or you take the ugly one. I'll take the ugly one. I'll take the ugly one. Which one's the ugly one? But every character in this is amazing. Just being like, from being a little kid growing up to being able to watch this in the theaters, it was a dream come true. I'd love to watch Part 1 in the theater, but I had a lot of fun with this, and there's not much more to say. If you want to hear me talk more about this, I did a review of Ninja Turtles Part 2, Secret of the Ooze, when I reviewed the 4K box set from Arrow Video. And then, last but not least, I had to go see, well, I went to go see Scream 7. So I don't want to give too much away about this, because I plan on doing a podcast with Easy C, Total Recall, because he actually went to see Ninja Turtles Part 2 and Scream 3 in a double feature, so we kind of did the same thing. And I would say, for one, this was the weirdest part of the experience at the theater, because it had about a 45-minute wait in between for me to go see this movie, and it was so dead in this theater, because I went to see it on a Monday. Like, their arcade kind of sucked, there wasn't anything going around, so I didn't feel like I need to leave the theater, so I just tried to linger around. But anyways, I will say, when I got in the theater and Scream 7 started, for such a crazy triple feature where none of these three movies have anything in common, as a big-time horror fan, if you've seen Scream 7 on top of the fact, the way this movie actually started, really good opening in the movie. I was like, this is just what the doctor ordered to come in here and see a horror movie like this. And I'll say, first and foremost, seeing a Scream movie in the theater was really cool. I love that. That was a great experience. And I actually didn't mind this movie until a couple days later. And I got to sit on it and I realized it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. I think this might be the last one they ever really need to do, in my opinion. I think the first half was incredible. The second half reminded me a little too much of like the newer Halloween movies, and a lot of it was kind of corny in some regards, and I'm going to give a little bit of spoilers away a bit. Like, I didn't... The characters were about the middle of the road. There was characters I liked, were middle, and I disliked. And I thought it was a little corny to bring all these people back. First half, like I said, the opening scene in particular, a good 20 minutes of like this guy and his girlfriend going to like this Stab replica hotel, and that was so cool the way it started. But then, like I said, you got what's her face, Nev Campbell, kind of playing the Laurie Strode kind of role, and there's at one point where there's an attack and she has like this escape room through the walls, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And there was a level of like women empowerment in this movie that just didn't work for me. It reminds me of Black Christmas, the remake, where it's like, if you nail it and can do something like that, look at Slumber Party Massacre. That's a good way to do it. But this one just, it fell flat in that regard. Like, there was like a scene that I really did like, where the daughter didn't know how to use a gun. And Nev Campbell's like calling her because she's at like her job, and she's at the coffee shop, and she's explaining to her how to get the gun going, which is a nice touch, because every horror movie or zombie movie you watch, everyone knows how to do headshots all of a sudden. But it just embraced this way they did the woman empowerment. You know, it's literally like, you could do this, babe. You could do this. I know you're not feeling strong, but you're a warrior. You could do this. It's like, just felt kind of flat. And there's corny shit like Nev Campbell, like her car doesn't start, so she just runs. Like, what, you just ran 10 miles to your work? Or how far was it? It looked like she ran forever. And a good scene where you can do that right is like Ninja Turtles Part 2, Secret of the Ooze, because the concept alone is pretty ridiculous. It's not based on a reality. We have Ninja Turtles, like the scene where Kino goes to run to get help, and they show him like running down the Brooklyn Bridge, and it implies like how far he ran, like how ridiculous that is. But it's kind of a different story when it's trying to take itself seriously. Like, it almost became a parody that it tried to avoid. And I don't really care about the people getting fired in the last movie or so. Like, I just watched the movie for the surface level and everything, and it is what it is. And right here, I'm going to give a spoiler on everything. The weakest reveal of killers I've seen in any Scream movie. When the old guy's like, oh, I went to a special class and I become one of the most impressive AI creators ever. What are you talking about? So this like 60-year-old guy's the better at AI than like some 20-year-old? Like, and the main girl, the other killer, it's like, just wasn't for me. I'm happy I got to go see it. I hope it does well, because as much shit as I want to talk about the movie, it's important to watch horror movies in the theaters, watch any movie in the theaters, but it just didn't really do it for me. I had a fun experience with Elvis. I had a fun experience with Scream for the most part too, but I think this should be the last one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 2 Secret of the Ooze was easily the biggest highlight. And I'll tell you guys what, I was pretty tired after the show and everything, which is understandable, but like, I had like an epiphany after the show where it's like, if you're a movie buff, like for a guy like me, that was like an important day for me for like my mental health and everything. Like I'm not a guy who suffers through depression or is like upset very often. Like I'm usually a pretty happy guy, and but just for the sake of it, just like taking time for yourself and going and doing stuff alone. Like I said, I just got done going to that Retro Fest by myself, and this was a lot of fun to go by myself too. And I just think it was really important just to lounge back in a recliner and eat some popcorn and just relax and watch some movies. And I definitely plan on doing this again once I get a handful of movies I want to see another time. Definitely do it on a weekday again when not many people are in there. I mean, unless it's like when Terrifier 4 comes out or something like that. It'd be fun to go see it on opening night, as well as like Scream 7. Horror movies in particular are really fun to see on opening night. But my point is, I'm very happy I did this as a movie fan. I felt it was much needed, and I definitely plan on doing it again. And even though not every movie I seen was perfect, it was close to a pretty perfect day. And it was a lot of fun. Support the movie theaters. Go get some popcorn. Drink about 16 Dr. Peppers. Almost piss yourself in the theater. I don't know. It was fun, guys. And that's just like my experience. I wanted to like get this on tape or whatever before it got too late, because it was 6 days ago at this point that I went and did this. But anyways, that was my experience seeing a triple feature at the movie theater. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow for my totally rad fest kind of recap and everything. Other than that, Blood Guts Gore. I'll check you guys next time.